Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. I like all the comments, keep them going. It goes to show the nice interactivity between people in what they think is correct, what they think is incorrect, what should happen and what shouldn't happen. Everybody has their own opinion, they're all welcome, good or bad. It's good to see people have a nice diverse opinion of what they see on the road. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the first clip. Okay, in this clip here, this is where my pupil has a bit of an issue when driving, but I've started with the back view because I want to take my hat off to this Ferrari driver who's following us. He's keeping a great distance. Even if you see the cars behind him, they are quite close to him, but he seems to be giving the learner a lot of space. And then we have an issue here. When we get to the front camera, you'll see what actually caused all of this. But this Ferrari driver, he holds back, even stops, look, at a nice safe distance. He could have compounded the situation completely, but didn't. He didn't panic, he didn't go on his horn, he didn't do anything at all. So I'm very appreciative of people like this, because it doesn't happen often, I can assure you. People normally honk the horn or try and pass us or any which way, but he didn't do this. He just stayed back there until we actually got going again. So you might be thinking, so what was the hold up, what was the problem? Well, we're going to go to the front camera so you can see how this plays out, but I just wanted to show you what went on from behind. Now, as we're approaching this bend, it's a white van coming the other way. He's far too quick on a bend. It completely panics my pupil like that. He had loads of room there, but we didn't have much, and we went over that white line a bit and he panicked completely and ended up stalling the car. So I had to calm him down at this point because we're on a hill as well, and he kept trying to get going and he was very flustered and making a bit of a poor show of it, but that's only because he was flustered. So as he got control of himself, we did eventually get going again. You saw from behind, everybody was very patient. They could have passed us at this point, but they didn't. And then after about the third roll back, he managed to get things together and we actually managed to move away. But fair play to the drivers behind. Okay, we're opening up this clip with a rear view again. The problem is in front of us, but I wanted to highlight this van behind us. I normally pick on the vans a wee bit. They can be a bit impatient on learner cars. This is quite the opposite. As we turn left coming up, this van driver does give us space, and quite rightfully so. They don't get too close, we're turning in, they're holding back, and that proves to be the right thing to do. Look at the distance, because we have to do an emergency stop about here, and he gently brakes and it's no issues for the van. Good on him. Look, he doesn't wave his arms, he doesn't panic, he just lets us go and we get on with business, and so does he. So thanks to the van driver there. Now let's have a little look at the front camera to see what caused that problem, and unfortunately it's to do with another van, a DHL delivery driver. So here's the left turn that we're coming into, and it's one of the reasons, always anticipate the worst, plan for it all the time wherever junctions occur. As we're going down here, you can see the driver come from the left there, should have waited, didn't, pulled right in front of us on the wrong side of the road as he left that junction, and we had to come to complete stop altogether there. Very poor show indeed, but nice anticipation by my pupil. Now on this clip here, it's in Epsom High Street, and there's an emergency vehicle trying to get past. He obviously can't move because he is being blocked, and it turns out by a van and a car. As it proceeds, you will see as this clears up, but I'd like your thoughts, what you think we should have done. Did we do the right thing as we moved on, or should we have carried on going? We could have done, couldn't we? As you'll see, we move on like this, and you can see the vehicles on the left, but what my pupil decides to do, and I think it's the right thing, he holds there. So these two vehicles, who quite rightfully got out the way, have to sort themselves out. The van comes back and then the car tries to clear, so it takes a little while. I'm going to show you a clip behind to show you that a lot of vehicles there may or may not have carried on going and not let this happen. Van driver was very happy that we let them get out. He felt that was the right thing to do. So everything moves on sweetly. We're going to have a look at the back camera just as we're clearing there, and you can actually see that there is quite a queue of cars who would have done the same thing. I'd like to think they would actually. I like to think positive like that. So you can see this van here. So as we move on, now they're moved on, we get over to that right hand lane as you see it, and you'll see the queue of cars behind us we do so. Look at that. There's quite a few there. Would they have stopped to let them out? Again, like I say, I would like to think they would do. Would you have done? Would you have let them out, or would you just follow that fire brigade and just carried on going and thought, well, that's not my problem? Okay, this is in Kingston, the one-way system. Please bear with me with this clip. It's a little bit lengthy, but it does make a point. Look at the queue on the right-hand side. It's quite extensive because it is going in a particular direction, and that lorry I've indicated there actually wants our lane. Could he got into it earlier? Well, he probably could have done, but he just probably didn't like the queue. Could he have made a mistake in where he was going? Look, he's indicating to get across. He sees he simply can't. No one can move to let him in anyway. It turns out that he's a brewery lorry. He's delivering beer, and with that alone makes me think that he knows exactly where he's going. He must have made this journey more than once, and he's now made a mistake. And we look from the forward view. He's still coming around indicator. I'll indicate again shortly. He's looking to get in, and eventually there's no room, so he just barges. Does he barge? Does that car behind let him in? Not too sure. Doesn't matter. He's a big lorry. He's going to get in there, and no one's going to really argue with him at this point. So he does actually get in, but by stopping there, he's affecting other traffic. I wanted to carry this clip on because it doesn't actually end with the lorry, to be honest. We get some more, I'm sorry to say, in my personal opinion, some more entitled drivers when they come past. Here comes the first one who feels, let's pick on, how many? Let you count, are going to push in to us. Now, we obviously, as a learner, we always get picked on. There's a little bit of a gap between us and the front car. So this car coming up on our right thinks, right, I'm moving over. He couldn't be bothered to queue. And so he picks on the learner car, of course. He knows we're going to do the right thing. We're not going to cause congestion and try and hold people up. So whether he was entitled to get in there or not, we're going to do the right thing and let him in. But the point of him being there, look at the traffic that's having to avoid him. And you can rest assured there's a big queue behind him as well, as he's still trying to get in. And he makes a pretty poor show of that as well. He's still in the middle lane. There's a blue car coming up behind. So there's people queuing behind him at this point. You can see the bike driver there is not very impressed in what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing by pushing in, and he moves us on. Now, as he eventually gets into the queue, let's start counting from here. Oh, he says thank you, but that's really beside the point. How many others wanted to get in this lane that couldn't be bothered to queue? There's this one. He was in the right-hand lane, no less, to the middle, and he, decides he doesn't want to push on. He's going to go right to the very end, and he thinks we'll get in there. But by doing that, look at the speed of the cars that are coming past. They're now having to come out of that middle lane and encroach on the inner lane to go around, instead of actually being able to stay in the lane that they actually want. And then we get number 3, the van driver, coming off the right into the middle. He also goes right to the very end, does exactly the same as that van driver, just more pushing in, holds the taxi up while the others go and pass in their correct lane. And then just finally we get just one more person who couldn't be bothered to queue again, and usually picks on the learner as always to squeeze in. Pretty poor show there. How many actually made a mistake, you reckon? I'll let you work that out. On to the next clip. Now this clip here is about a blue BMW pulling out of the junction on the left, which we're trying to be aware of. People are trying to filter in there. It's quite busy here, as you can see. So as we're creeping forward, as much as we have the priority, people to try and filter in wherever they can or they're let in. We're going quite slowly. There's a bit of a gap there, so they just filter in anyway. Now, although we come to a brief stop here, it's actually because of a car on the left that you don't quite see, that literally looks like it was going to push in front of us. But the blue BMW, as it goes forward and we then make progress, it looks like it's made that junction or that pushing a little too often, because it looks like it hasn't got away with it on a few occasions. Look at the back state of that BMW. It's had a few punches, hasn't it? On to the next clip. Now, this clip here is a bit of a thought dilemma. It's back to the cyclist again. It's not so much a pick on a cyclist, but more of an answer a question. That cyclist there is on a shared bike lane. It goes past a red light, but it's in a bike lane, not a problem. What about this one? It's approaching the red light, goes through the red light. It could have mounted the pavement there, really, and could avoid it like the other bike. So, question is, was he bothered about the lights at all? I want you to see the back view of this, and you can actually see what happens with that cyclist in question. Now, as you saw, the first one was in the bike lane, so no real question, no problems at all. And there they go, passing, and here comes the second one. And what does he do? He actually mounts the pavement there, and then he goes into the shared cycle lane, but he'd already gone through the red light. Should he have mounted before? Did he even care about the light at all? He could have mounted there, look, and he could have avoided it. Open question, really. So was it the fact that he really didn't care about the light? What's your thoughts? It's an interesting little dilemma there, really. Did he just ignore them completely? If say he normally didn't care about them, no one around, or is he just not bothered about red lights in general? A lot of cyclists are not at the end of the day. Okay, what are your thoughts? Similar little clip, this one. Enter the Rose Hill roundabouts. Big roundabout, lights. And as we change, we're about to make progress, but you've always got to have your wits about you, as you know. You'll always get the unexpected. Just as we're about to go, there's the change. Then this happens. It speaks for itself. This is where accidents happen. No attention at all. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, for watching the video today. I look forward to seeing you again. Please like and subscribe. Keep the comments coming. Much appreciated. And I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now. Drive safely.